You requested some icons. I started to create a image gallery of how to do those icons, but I thought it'd be better just to do a video of it because it's sort of complicated on how I did some of the things here. Now, of course, as Coconut stated, these are created in Flash, so we're not going to be able to get these exactly just like I said, but we can sort of fake what you're looking for here. And let me show you what it looks like in game. So here's like the arrows, and you can adjust the arrow size how you'd like. Here's our colorized text right here. Here's actually some waypoint systems similar to these guys, and you can also have solid lines instead of dotted lines. And I'll explain how to do that. And you were looking for this sort of thing here, and here we got that darker color and darker color here, and then this guy is sort of like a filled in area. You can see I have the section here filled in. And of course, for Germany, we have that side filled in. And so let me explain how I did that. This is what it looks like in game. Oh, and I also have some custom icons here. And of course, I'll show you how to create your own sort of custom icon as well. Okay, so let's go to the mission editor. And here we are right away with the blue arrows. That's these guys right here that I got going on. Okay, so first things first is the back part of your arrow, this section right here, the size of that is determined by the distance from your very last point and your very first point and your second connection, right? Because the arrow goes this way. So if I made this like this, then the width of the arrow would be like the back of the arrow. This part right here would be like really huge, and so maybe that's what you're looking for in your sort of image. Okay, so there's that. And then the way I made the three arrows is I actually stacked these waypoints, or these icons, MCU icons, on top of each other. And so how I did that was, let's say that I wanted to get these guys right here on top of this one. So I would grab the X value, that's this way, X is left and right. And then I paste that X value. And you can see now they're in line on the X plane. And we would say this is a Y plane, but in actuality, this is a Z plane, and the Y plane is coming towards us. You know, it's this is the Y plane, right? So we have X on the ground here, and Z on the ground, and Y is pointed upwards. And of course, we're looking up here. Okay, so anyway, grab the Z plane here, and paste it, and you can see now they're stacked on top of each other. And how I did that was Control-C for copy and Control-V for paste. And then I did the same thing here, so they're all stacked on top of each other. And then I sort of broke it out from here. The other thing is at the end of your arrow, or the end of your MCU tie-ends, but technically the kind of the beginning or the tip or whatever of your arrow. The wider you make this, the more straight your arrow will be, and of course, the thinner, the more thinner your arrow would be. And you're also determining the length of your point this way as well, right? So you're deciding how long this section will be and how wide this section will be by scaling this from here to there, right? So you're basically deciding the size of your arrow like that. Let's say that you get this sort of bug, and let me show you. We'll save this guy here, and I'll reload this guy. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And it may occur when you're making your own attack arrows. Woo, look at that. And really what happened is the arrow is twisted right here, okay? And you can see I made the back section really fat here, right? The connection from here to there is very far, so this is wide. But I got a twist right here. And the twist is because this guy needs to actually be over here. So if that occurs, just try and move the last connection either up or down from your bar here, from this connection. Okay, so we'll put that one back. Bring these guys back in. Maybe something like that. This is a little bit more realistic. And restart it. Patience. And there you go. Much fatter arrow icons. Okay, so we'll leave that how it is. Let me show you how I did the fill-ins, either with the blue or the red here. So we'll go to like colored fill-ins, and I'll do the red one. Okay. So same idea here. I basically stacked on top of my front lines. That's this guy right here. I basically stacked on top of the front lines icons where each of these icons are. So there's one there, and then there's one over here somewhere, right? And one here, and so on, okay? But whenever you get to a hard edge, and that a perfect right angle, or like you're trying to get a straight angle here, see where this is more organic, and you can see kind of where I have some mistakes, but that's okay. But this is sort of an organic turn, and then this is like a hard edge turn, right? I won't say it's 90 degrees. I didn't mean to say that. I'm at different degrees. But anyway, what I've done, the way you do that is you put two icons really close together like this, and it'll make that hard edge, or make it appear that there's a hard edge there when really it isn't. And so I have that right here, and then of course right here, right, because another very straight turn, and then here as well, and also right here. And so let me show you that. Go to this one, you can see how I have the two, and then up here, the two, and then the two right here as well. And you can see the blue one over there. Okay, so that's how you do the fill-ins, okay? And then the fill-in color, I just, let me select all of them here in that object, and I'll show you. I just use zone type 1, and it fills it in. And then I have the colors, and I'll show you. I'll show you the colors I'll list them in the video description. Okay, so there's that. Then we have the small little darker areas. So let me go to this. And so this is a little bit more, this is a little trickier and is time consuming. You'll notice that I have these icons, and I have MCU icons, and I have a lot more of them. So the reason being is because of this turn right here. So what ends up happening is, if I say, from here and then, go out to here, it's gonna be organically turning like this, right? It makes a guess and sort of organically turns like this, which does not match the organic turn that happens here. And so what ends up happening is all this is not aligned. So in order to fix that, you have to sort of guess where that line is being generated. So I'm kind of guessing where the front line is being generated from here to there, and then I'm drawing that out as a guess. And then I load the mission, check it, move something, load the mission again, check it, move something, load the mission again. You can see here, so I've guessed kind of where this line is at, and I've pushed like that one MCU that's sort of right here, this guy right here, like a little bit closer maybe. So he fills in. You can see like I'm guessing kind of where that line setup is, and there's some mistakes, but overall it looks good, and I don't feel like I need to mess with it anymore. And then just the difference is the color here is I made the color a little bit darker. So that's why you have a darker color. So time consuming, but you can do it. You're able to do it. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the not front lines, what is it? The waypoint system. So this is kind of cool. This is actually new with the 3.x stuff. So you just create your little waypoint system, and I've done it here. You can see that the waypoints are boom, 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 just like that, right? But what's cool is on the map, you can actually get a little message to your players. It says, "Hey, do this or go there or whatever," right? And it's pretty cool. And the way that works is the name is the name of your waypoint. And down here this is the description where I have this is where you start is what will show when the player hovers over it, which is pretty cool. The only downside to this description thing is that CSS doesn't seem to work with it. I think maybe they intended for that to work with it, but it doesn't. And the other downside is, you'll notice here, I got it here, is if you don't, by default it says icon descript or whatever, and if you don't clear that out, you're going to get that message. So either fill it in with something or clear it out so that when that player hovers over it, they don't get any message. Okay. And what I've used for these is, what is it? Position type 2, but you can use position type 1 and I'll give you your solid line. So let me do that real quick. We'll select all these guys here. Position type 1. Okay. And I may have messed things up with the other movement, but it's okay. With the other icons. That's fine. Loading, loading, loading. Loading, loading, loading. And you can see now we have solid lines, which is kind of cool. What I like to do is have the dotted lines, and then as the player moves this waypoint, fire off disable of the dotted lines and enable of the solid, so the player knows, like, hey, I've gotten to this point. And once they get here, then the dotted lines will disappear here, and then a solid line will appear here with the disable and activate new lines. It's kind of a cool little trick that you can do for the player to let them know, hey, what's going on. Okay, so enough of that. Let's go to these little custom icons. So there's lots of custom icons. As a matter of fact, I won't name some of the names of some of the cool icons that I saw, but there's some really cool icons. And basically, all I did for this is I said, oh, I want to create a shape, and so it's like, oh, I want to create like a heart or something. So how I'm doing this is I'm holding down Shift to create the shape that I want, and then copy it. And this is mission building, by the way, like constantly reloading the mission and checking it and running it and checking your function. Hey, boom, look at that. 1 heart to go.